in the busy city of Lagos. Cars honked. People moved fast. Sellers shouted their prices. In the middle of all that noise, a young girl named Destiny, only 17, held the hand of Genevieve, her mother, as they walked quickly down the road. She had always been smart, the best in all her exams. She grew up with only her mother. She never knew her father. Her mother told her long ago, "Your father left before you were born, but I have you, and you have me. That's all that matters to me." Destiny worked hard, very hard. When she saw the pain her mother went through running her small fruit shop to pay her school fees, her heart always felt heavy. It was already getting harder for her mother to keep up with the payments, and Destiny was going into her final year of high school. Things were becoming too tough, so Destiny decided to apply for the scholarship at a cyber cafe. She studied day and night, praying for a chance. And when the results came out, she came first. The school gave her a scholarship. Destiny wore her school uniform, clean and new, with a bag strapped to her back. Her mother, Genevieve, held her small handbag tight. They were both walking fast because it was Destiny's first day in one of the biggest high schools in the city, the same school that gave her the scholarship. Genevieve walked beside her, holding her small handbag tight. She had to follow Destiny on the first day to help with registration and the final signing of her scholarship papers. They had walked almost half of the long journey because they did not even have enough money for a full bus fare, so they had to walk a very long distance first before they could stop to wait for a bus. "Mother, are you sure we will get there on time?" Destiny asked, breathing fast. Genevieve gave a small smile. "My child, we will reach there. Even if we walk the whole road, you worked too hard for this day." Destiny looked down at her shoes. They were neat and new. "I wish we had enough money for the full bus fare." Her mother squeezed her hand. "Don't worry. This is only the beginning. One day you will enter your own car. Not bus, not walking. A big car. I believe it." Destiny smiled softly. She believed it too. Now, after a long wait, a bus finally slowed in front of them. "Mummy, let's enter," Destiny said. They squeezed themselves inside, paid the bus fare, and sat beside the window. Destiny looked outside at the tall buildings and shook her head. "This school, I still cannot believe I got into it." Genevieve looked at her with eyes full of pride. "Destiny, you deserve it. You earned it. Hold your head high. Don't let anyone look down on you because we are not rich." When they reached the school gate, Destiny stopped walking for a moment. The school was huge, the biggest she had ever seen. Clean walls, glass windows, tall trees. Hundreds of students in perfect uniforms were walking in. Destiny whispered, "Mummy, this place looks like a dream." Genevieve smiled. They walked in together. Many students looked at Destiny and her mother as they passed. Some looked curious, some looked uninterested. A few whispered and pointed. Inside the admin office, the admin officer checked her papers. "You are the scholarship student?" the woman asked. Destiny nodded. "Yes, Ma." The woman looked at her like she was studying her. Then she stamped the papers. "Welcome. I'll call a teacher to take you to your class right now." Minutes later, a teacher walked in. "Young lady, follow me." Destiny turned to her mother. Her eyes were soft. "Mummy, I will make you proud." "You already have," Genevieve said, touching her cheek. "Go and shine." Destiny followed the teacher through the long, shiny hallway. She tried not to stare at the rich-looking students walking past her. When they reached the classroom, the teacher opened the door. "Good morning, class. We have a new student. Her name is Destiny. She got the school scholarship. Please welcome her." The students looked at her quietly. No smile, no excitement, only a few nods. Some didn't even look up. Destiny felt something strange in her stomach. Still, she forced a small smile. The teacher pointed. "You can sit there." Destiny walked slowly to the empty seat at the back. She sat, opened her book, and placed her pen on the table. She breathed in slowly. "Just focus," she told herself. "You worked hard to be here. Just focus." But as the teacher began the lesson, Destiny could already feel a few eyes watching her, whispering, looking at her. And she did not know yet that this was only the beginning of a long battle in that school. A battle she never asked for. A battle she did not deserve, but one that would soon change her life. Forever. Genevieve stepped out of the school gate with slow steps. Then she faced the long road and began walking toward her small fruit shop by the busy roadside. Cars moved past her. People shouted prices. Buses stopped and moved. That noisy place was the only world she knew. When she reached her small wooden table, she set down her basket, arranged her oranges, bananas, and pineapples, and wiped her sweat with the back of her hand. "Fresh fruits here, sweet oranges, ripe bananas," she called out, forcing energy into her tired voice. This was how she survived. She did not go to the university. She had no degree, no certificate. This small fruit business was the only thing helping her take care of Destiny. Every single coin mattered. At noon, the early rush slowed down. Genevieve sat on her small stool. She closed her eyes for a moment. Then she felt a sharp pain hit the side of her head. She held her forehead. Oh, God. She felt weak. Her body felt heavy. She knew she was getting sick. But she looked at the small money she made that morning and shook her head. I cannot touch this money. Destiny needs books. I will be fine. I must be fine. But the pain stayed. In school at lunchtime, Destiny sat alone in the school cafeteria with her small lunch bowl. She opened it. Beans. Simple beans her mother prepared early that morning. She smiled proudly. But before she could take the first spoon, she heard laughter behind her. Ew! What is that? Another boy laughed. Is that even food? It looks so poor. Can't your parents buy real lunch? A tall girl added, covering her nose. Destiny felt her chest tighten. But she kept eating slowly. She kept her eyes on her spoon. She did not say a word. She remembered her mother's voice. Hold your head high. Don't let anyone look down on you. So, Destiny ate, even as they mocked her. When lunch was over, classes continued. She tried to focus, but the laughter from earlier stayed in her mind like a shadow. When the school closing bell rang, students ran outside. Fancy cars lined up. Drivers opened doors. Parents waved from shiny SUVs. Destiny stood alone at the school gate. One boy looked at her and smiled. Where is your ride? Oh, wait, you don't have? Another girl laughed. Maybe she will walk home. Destiny looked down. Her eyes stung, but she said nothing. She just walked away quietly. She walked all the way to her mother's fruit shop, her heart heavy. At the fruit shop, Genevieve saw her coming and quickly stood up. My child, why is your face like this? What happened? Destiny dropped her bag gently. Mother, my first day was bad. Genevieve guided her to sit. Tell me. I am listening. Destiny took a slow breath and began. They laughed at my food. They laughed at me again when school closed. They said I am poor. Her voice shook. Mummy, I tried to ignore them, but it hurts. Genevieve held her daughter's hands with her weak fingers. She looked into her eyes. Destiny, listen to me. You are not poor. You are rich in the right places. You have wisdom. You have a good heart. You have a future bigger than their noise. Destiny looked up slowly. Genevieve continued. People may talk, my child. When someone starts doing well, others will notice. Some will like it. Some will hate it. But you must keep going. You worked hard to reach this point. Don't let their words stop you. You are meant to shine. Destiny wiped her eyes. But it still hurts, Mother. I know, my child. But pain does not last. Keep your eyes on where you are going. One day, these same people will clap for you. Destiny nodded slowly. Her mother's words gave her a small strength inside. Genevieve smiled weakly. Now go inside. Change out of your school uniform. Come and eat some fruits. Tomorrow is another day. Destiny nodded again and picked up her bag. The next morning, Destiny walked into school with her mother's words still in her heart. Shine like the star you are. So she made a quiet promise to herself as she took her seat. Today, I will not hide. When the first teacher entered the class and began the lesson, Destiny sat up straight. When he asked a question, Destiny quickly raised her hand. "Sir, I know the answer." The teacher smiled. "Go ahead, Destiny." She spoke clearly. The answer was correct. A few students turned and stared at her. Second question. Her hand went up again. Correct. Third question. Again she answered. Soon, she became the only one raising her hand. The teacher seemed pleased, but some students were not. A few whispered, a few frowned, a few rolled their eyes. And Destiny did not know she had already made some people angry. People who did not like anyone shining brighter than them. During lunch break, when the bell rang, Destiny packed her small lunch and stood up and was about to go to the cafeteria. But she stopped. A tall, beautiful girl had just sat on her desk. Her name was Kendra, the most popular girl in the class. Everyone knew her. Everyone feared her. Beside Kendra stood two girls, Erica and Faith, known as the class bullies. They blocked Destiny before she could move. Kendra smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. "So, scholarship girl, you want to act like you are better than us, right?" Destiny blinked. "No, I didn't." Erica cut her off. "Shut up. You think because you can answer small questions, you are something?" Faith stepped closer. "Listen well. If you ever act like you are better than anyone here, we will come for you." Destiny froze. Her hands shook around her lunch bowl. Kendra stood up slowly and leaned close. "Know your place. You are not one of us. Don't forget that." With that, the three girls walked away, their laughter echoing across the class. Destiny watched them leave. Her chest felt tight. "But what did I do wrong?" she whispered to herself. Still, she walked quietly to eat her lunch, feeling confused and hurt. After lunch, the lesson continued. Destiny kept answering questions because she knew them. Not because she wanted trouble. She just wanted to learn. But every correct answer made Kendra's face tighten. Erica tapped her fingers angrily on the table. Faith whispered something and smirked. Destiny didn't see it, but trouble was growing. After the closing bell rang, most students left the class. Destiny stayed behind a little to finish her assignment so she wouldn't burden her mother with candlelight reading at home. The class was now quiet. She packed her books and turned to leave. Then she froze. Kendra, Erica, Faith. They were walking toward her, slowly, blocking the only way out. Destiny held her bag tighter. What do you want?" Erica stepped forward first. "We told you not to mess with us, but you think you are smart, right?" Destiny shook her head. "I didn't do anything. I only answered questions." Faith hissed. "And who asked you to talk?" Before Destiny could reply, a sharp sound filled the room. Erica's hand had landed hard on Destiny's cheek. Destiny held her face, shocked. Her eyes burned with tears she was trying to hold back. Erica looked down at her. "Next time, don't speak when we are talking. Do you hear me?" Kendra leaned closer, her voice cold. "If you say a word about what happened here to anyone at all, we will make this school hell for you." Faith added, "You will beg to leave this school." Destiny's voice shook. "Please, I didn't do anything." But they only laughed. Then they walked away, leaving her standing alone in the empty classroom with her cheek still stinging and her heart shaking. Destiny held her books close and whispered to herself, "I just wanted to learn. Why is this happening to me?" She wiped her eyes and walked out quietly. Destiny walked down the long road toward her mother's fruit shop. Her cheek still hurt. Every step she took, she felt the pain again. She touched her face gently, and it hurt. "I don't deserve this," she whispered to herself. Tears tried to come, but she blinked fast. She couldn't cry. If she reached the shop with tears, her mother would know something was wrong, and she didn't want that. She knew her mother. Genevieve loved her too much. If she heard that Destiny was being hurt in school, she would march straight there, fight with anyone, and maybe pull Destiny out of the school just to keep her safe from harm. And they could not afford that. They had no money for another school. This scholarship was their only hope. Destiny sighed. "Mummy works too hard. I can't bring more trouble." She wiped her eyes quickly as she approached the shop. When she reached the small wooden table by the roadside, her mother turned at once. Genevieve's eyes scanned her face carefully, like a mother who could see through anything. "Destiny, what is wrong? Your eyes look strange. Did something happen?" Genevieve asked, walking closer. Destiny forced a smile so fast her lips almost trembled. "No, Mummy. I'm fine. I'm just tired. School was long today." Genevieve studied her for another seconds, not fully convinced. "Are you sure, my child?" Destiny nodded again, keeping her voice steady. "Yes, Mummy. I'm fine." She sat down beside her mother and placed her bag on the floor. Genevieve sighed softly. "This school must be stressful, but you will get used to it." Destiny nodded. "Yes, Mummy, I will." Her mother smiled and wiped a little dust off Destiny's skirt. "Tell me how your day went." Destiny took a slow breath. She had to choose her words carefully. "Well, the teachers asked questions in class, and I answered a lot." Her mother's eyes brightened. "You answered? That is my girl. That is what I want to hear." Destiny smiled again, hiding the truth. "Yes, Mother." Genevieve laughed softly. "Of course. You are smart. You have always been smart." Destiny looked down. If only her mother knew the price she paid for that. Genevieve touched her arm gently. "I am proud of you, my child. Keep shining. Don't let anyone block your light." Destiny felt a sharp ache in her chest. Those words were the same ones that had gotten her slapped today, but she nodded anyway. "I will, Mummy," she whispered. Genevieve stood up and reached for some fresh fruits and gave it to her. Destiny smiled, still pretending she was fine. But deep inside, she knew the truth. Something dark had started in that school, something she was afraid to speak about. For almost a week, Destiny had stopped answering questions in class. She knew the answers, but she kept quiet. She wanted to avoid trouble. But Kendra and her two friends still found a way to torment her. When the lunch bell rang, students rushed out of their classes. The hallway filled with noise and footsteps. Destiny walked slowly behind everyone else. When she got inside, the place was full. Students sat in groups, laughing, talking, and eating from colorful plates. Destiny looked for a corner seat, somewhere quiet where no one would notice her. She found a small, empty chair near the back. She sat down gently and brought out her small lunch pack. She opened the lid and looked at the simple food her mother had prepared. She whispered softly, "Thank you, Mummy," then picked up her spoon. But before the spoon reached her mouth, she felt 3 shadows fall over her table. She looked up. Kendra, Erica, Faith, standing right in front of her. Destiny's heart dropped. Kendra was holding a bottle of water. Erica and Faith had wide smiles like they were ready for a show. Students around them began whispering. Some stopped eating. A few leaned forward to watch. Some giggled. Some covered their mouths. The whole place seemed to pause. Destiny swallowed hard. "Please don't do this." Kendra didn't reply. She opened the bottle slowly, lifted it high, and poured all the water straight into Destiny's food. The food spilled over the plate and onto the table. The wet sound was loud enough for nearby students to hear. Some gasped. A few laughed. Erica clapped loudly. "Perfect! Now she won't eat today." Faith laughed. Destiny's eyes filled with tears. She tried to blink them away, but one tear rolled down her cheek. She quickly wiped it, but people had already seen it. The laughter grew louder. Destiny wanted to disappear. Then a strong voice cut through the cafeteria. "Stop that right now!" Everything froze. Everyone turned. A girl Destiny had never spoken to stood there, holding a tray. Her eyes were sharp. Her face was angry. She marched straight to Destiny's table and faced the bullies. "What is wrong with all of you? Why would you do something so wicked?" Kendra rolled her eyes. "Mind your business. This doesn't concern you." She stepped closer. "Touch her again, and I will report all of you. I am not joking." Students around them fell silent. Even those who laughed earlier went quiet, watching the scene. Erica tapped Kendra. "Let's go. People are looking," Faith whispered. "Leave her." Kendra glared at Destiny one last time, then hissed, This is not over. They turned and walked away angrily, their footsteps loud against the floor. The cafeteria slowly returned to normal. The girl turned to Destiny. Her voice became soft. "Are you okay?" Destiny looked at her ruined food and shook her head weakly. Thank you." She sat beside her. They had no right to do that. I've seen the way they behave. They think they own this school. Destiny wiped her cheeks again. "Why did they pick on me?" "Because you're quiet and alone," she said gently. "Bullies like people who won't fight back." Destiny looked at her shyly. "What's your name?" "Tiana," she smiled. "And you're Destiny, right?" "Yes." Destiny nodded softly. Tiana looked at the spilled food. "Come, you can't eat this. Let me buy you another plate." Destiny hesitated. "You don't need to." "I want to," Tiana said warmly. "Please, Destiny, let me do this." Destiny stood up slowly, feeling a warmth inside her chest she hadn't felt in school before. As they walked toward the serving counter, Destiny whispered, "Thank you for helping me." Tiana smiled. From that day, everything changed. They started talking. They sat together. They walked together. And little by little, a friendship began to grow. A real one. Destiny no longer felt completely alone. One morning, Destiny arrived early again. She sat by her desk and arranged her books. She liked getting to school before the noise. A few minutes later, Tiana walked in, smiling softly. "Good morning, Destiny." Destiny smiled back. "Good morning, Tiana." Tiana sat beside her and opened her bag. She looked a little worried. Destiny noticed it. "Are you okay?" she asked. Tiana sighed. "Destiny, I want to ask you for a favor. Please don't be angry." Destiny blinked. "Why would I be angry?" Tiana rubbed her fingers nervously. "I resumed school late because I was sick. I missed a lot of classes, and some topics we are doing now. I don't understand them." Destiny nodded slowly, waiting. Tiana looked up. "I noticed you are very smart. You understand things quickly, and I was wondering, can you help me?" Destiny froze for a moment. She took a slow breath. "I don't know if I would be chanced," Destiny said. "Please, I know I'm asking a lot, but I want to catch up, and I don't know who else to ask." Destiny hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Okay, I can help you." Tiana's face brightened at once. "Really? Thank you so much." "When do you want to start?" Destiny asked quietly. "Now," Tiana replied with a smile. "If you have a little time." Destiny opened her book. "I do." So the two girls sat together. Destiny explained the topics one by one, and Tiana listened with full attention, writing everything down. As they studied, Tiana looked at Destiny with respect. "You're really smart," she said. Destiny looked away shyly. "I just try my best." "You're more than that," Tiana whispered. "You're a blessing." Destiny felt something warm in her chest. Nobody had ever said that to her. From that day on, studying together became their new routine. Anytime Destiny had free time, she helped Tiana. Anytime Tiana needed support, she came straight to Destiny. And their friendship grew stronger, deeper, more real. Far away from the school, in a tall, modern office building in Lagos, a wealthy man named Mr. Festus sat alone in his massive office. The office was quiet. Only the soft sound of the air conditioner filled the room. Mr. Festus's face was heavy with deep thought. He had built his business empire with his own hands. He came from nothing, but through hard work, he became one of the richest men in the city. He had houses, cars, companies, and respect. People bowed their heads when he walked into a room. But even with all his success, there was one thing his money could not buy: a child. He leaned back on his big leather chair and whispered to himself, "What is the point of all this? If I have nobody to leave it for?" He remembered all the hospitals he had visited, all the tests he had done, all the painful news he kept hearing. "Sir, we are sorry, but you cannot father a child." The words never changed. The women in his life did not stay. They all wanted children, and when they saw he could not give them one, they walked away from him. Mr. Festus stood up slowly and walked to the large window. The whole city lay beneath him. Cars, lights, buildings, people, everything he owned or controlled. Yet he felt empty. "Who will take all this when I am gone?" he whispered, putting his hand on the glass. A knock came on his door. His driver entered. "Sir, your car is ready." Festus gave a small nod. "Let's go." He walked out quietly, still lost in thought. That night, he lay on his large bed in his mansion. The ceiling lights glowed softly, but his mind refused to rest. He turned from side to side, thinking, worrying, whispering to himself, "What do I do now? What is left for me?" Then, suddenly, a memory flashed in his mind. A young woman, a long time ago. A soft voice telling him, "Festus, I am pregnant." He sat up slowly. He remembered her clearly. He remembered the day she said she was carrying his child. But he was young then. He was wild. He was stubborn. He did not believe her. He walked away from her life and never looked back. Festus rubbed his forehead. What if she was telling the truth? What if she kept the baby? His heart beat faster. Would she keep that child? He stood up from the bed. "That might be my only chance," he whispered. "My only hope of ever having someone to call my child." He walked to the mirror and stared at himself. "I must find her," he said softly. A strange fear and excitement mixed inside him. Because somewhere out there might be a child he abandoned. A child who grew up without him. A child who had no idea he existed. And now, he wanted to find them. Not because he suddenly became a good man, but because he was desperate to know if had a child somewhere at all. That night, Mr. Festus made a silent promise to himself. "I will find that woman, wherever she is." He did not know that his search would lead him into a story he never imagined. A story that would shake his world. Weeks passed, and even though the bullying reduced, it never truly stopped. Kendra and her friends acted calm whenever other students were around. They smiled like angels when teachers walked by. But whenever Destiny was alone, even for a moment, they found her. Sometimes they blocked her path. Sometimes they pushed her roughly. Sometimes they mocked her shoes or her uniform. Destiny kept quiet. She kept it all to herself. She told herself, "It will end soon. Just hold on." The only thing that made her days easier was Tiana. Their friendship grew stronger. They ate together. They walked together. They read together. They laughed at small things. Destiny began to feel like she finally had someone in her corner. Tiana noticed Destiny's silence sometimes. The way she looked over her shoulder. The way she jumped a little when she heard footsteps behind her, wondering if she was still being bullied. But Destiny always said she was fine. Tiana didn't want to push too hard. Meanwhile, in another part of Lagos, Mr. Festus was becoming restless. He had ordered his PA, Mr. Joshua, to find information about Genevieve, the woman he left many years ago. The woman who once told him she was pregnant for him. His last chance of having a child. But every day Mr. Joshua came back with the same answer. "Sir, we still haven't found anything." Mr. Festus grew frustrated. "Keep searching. Search everywhere. Ask questions. Check old records. I must know if she kept the baby. I must know if I have a child out there." "Yes, sir, I will keep trying," Joshua replied. But deep down, Mr. Festus knew that finding Genevieve was like looking for a single drop of water in the ocean. Back in Destiny's small home, evening had settled across the city. Genevieve was in the small kitchen sitting on a small stool washing fruits. Destiny walked in and sat beside her mother on a small wooden stool. Genevieve turned to her and brought out a small envelope. "Destiny, take this." Destiny opened it and saw some money inside. Her eyes widened. "Mummy, this is for me?" "Yes, my child. Use it to buy the books you need." Destiny held the envelope with both hands. She knew how hard her mother worked. She knew how many hours she spent under the sun just to make small money. Seeing her mother give her this made her chest tighten. "Mummy, thank you," Destiny said softly. "I promise I won't waste your effort. I will work hard. I will make you proud." Genevieve smiled gently and touched her cheek. "You already make me proud every day. Just keep going." Destiny leaned on her mother's shoulder. She felt safe. She felt loved. Destiny had no clue that her life was about to change, sooner than she expected, and in a way she could never imagine. Destiny woke up early as usual and dressed for school. She brushed her hair, packed her books, and tied her shoelaces. Genevieve stood watching her daughter with a soft smile. Even though she had been feeling tired for days, she hid it well. She didn't want Destiny to worry. She didn't want her to lose focus in school. "Good morning, Mummy," Destiny said with a sweet smile. Genevieve forced a brighter smile. "Good morning, my child. You look ready for school." Destiny picked up her bag. "Yes, Mummy," but when she stepped closer to hug her mother, she stopped. "Mummy, your eyes. You look tired. Are you okay?" Genevieve quickly straightened herself. "I'm fine, Destiny. It's nothing. Just small stress." "Mummy, are you sure?" Destiny asked again. "Yes, my child. I am fine. Go to school. Don't worry about me," Genevieve said, giving another fake smile. Destiny looked at her for a few seconds. She didn't believe her, but she didn't want to argue. She slowly turned toward the door. But before she could take one step out, she heard a heavy sound behind her. She froze. "Mummy?" she whispered in fear. She turned around and her heart stopped. Her mother was lying on the floor, eyes closed, not moving. "Mummy! Mummy!" Destiny screamed as she ran to her side. She knelt down and touched her mother's skin. It was very hot, too hot. Genevieve's breaths were weak and slow. "What do I do? What do I do?" Destiny cried, her hands shaking. She tried to lift her mother, but she couldn't. She was too small, too weak, too scared. She ran outside, looking left and right. Then she remembered something. The new hospital in the area. It wasn't far. She ran as fast as she could, tears falling from her eyes. Her bag dropped somewhere in the house, but she didn't care. She ran until she reached the hospital door. "Help! Please help! My mother fainted!" she shouted, almost out of breath. The nurses rushed out at once with the ambulance. They followed Destiny to her house and carried Genevieve into the ambulance. Destiny sat in the corner of the ambulance, crying softly and holding her mother's cold hand. "Please wake up, Mummy, please." They reached the hospital. The doctors rushed her into a room and closed the door. Destiny stood outside, her heart beating fast, her hands cold, her legs shaking. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, the doctor came out. He stood in front of her. "Are you her daughter?" Yes, sir," Destiny said, her voice cracking. "She will be fine," the doctor said gently. "She has a strong fever and too much stress. Her blood pressure is high. She needs to stay here, at least 1 week, so she can rest." Destiny closed her eyes in relief and wiped her tears. "Thank you, sir. Thank you." But then, something hit her. She opened her eyes slowly. "Mummy used all her money last week to buy my books," she whispered to herself. "We don't have money at home." Her breath grew shallow. How will we pay?" The doctor didn't know her situation. "Talk to the front desk for the bills." But Destiny didn't move. She stood there in the hallway, lost, confused, terrified. She didn't even know how to get money for food at home. Now she needed money for hospital bills. She sat on the chair, buried her face in her hands, and cried quietly. "Where will I get money? What do I do?" She missed school completely that day. She didn't even have the strength to think about school. Meanwhile, in class, Tiana sat on her seat. She kept looking at the door again and again. "Where is Destiny? Why is she not here?" she whispered. Destiny had never been late. She had never missed school, not even once. Tiana tried to focus, but she couldn't shake the fear in her chest. "I hope she's okay. Please let her be safe." And without knowing it, Destiny's life was about to change completely, because this sickness, this moment, this fear, was only the beginning of something far bigger. When Genevieve finally opened her eyes that evening, the first thing she saw was Destiny sitting on a small chair beside her bed. Destiny had fallen asleep with her head resting on her mother's arm. The moment Genevieve moved, Destiny woke up at once and leaned closer. "Mummy, you are awake," Destiny whispered, holding her hand gently. Genevieve smiled weakly. "My child, how was school today?" Destiny lowered her eyes. "I did not go to school. I stayed here with you." Genevieve shook her head slowly. "No, Destiny. Tomorrow, you must go. You cannot stop school because of me." Destiny squeezed her hand. "I don't want to leave you alone." "I will be fine," Genevieve said softly. "Go home now. Eat something. Rest. Then come back in the morning." They said goodnight, and Destiny walked back home with a heavy heart. The next day, she woke up very early. She cooked a little food for herself and her mother, packed it neatly, and walked straight to the hospital. When she stepped into the ward, she was relieved to see her mother awake. "Mummy, I brought food," Destiny said, placing the bag on the table. Genevieve smiled. "Thank you, my child." But Destiny could not smile back. Her eyes were full of fear. She did not know how they would pay the hospital bill. She did not know what to do. Genevieve saw the worry on her daughter's face. She touched her hand gently. "Destiny, everything will be all right. Don't let worry eat your heart. Go to school now. You must not be late." Destiny nodded slowly, even though her mind felt heavy. She left the hospital and walked to school. When she got to class, Tiana was waiting. Ever since they became friends, Tiana always came early so they could study together. But today, Destiny's smile was missing. Tiana frowned. "Destiny, what is wrong? You look sad." Destiny shook her head. "I'm fine." "No, you are not," Tiana said softly. "I know you. You don't open up easily, but please tell me. Maybe I can help." But Destiny kept quiet. She looked away. Tiana did not push anymore. She changed the subject and talked about simple things, trying to make Destiny smile. She cracked small jokes, waved her hands, and tried everything she could. Destiny forced a small smile, and Tiana accepted it. She knew her friend needed time. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, Festus sat alone in his big living room. His thoughts were heavy. He kept thinking about Genevieve, the woman he left long ago, the woman who once told him she was pregnant with his child. His phone rang. It was his personal assistant. "Sir, we found something," the PA said. "We are not fully sure yet, but there is a new hospital record from a woman named Genevieve Banks." Festus stood up at once, shocked. "Send me the address. Now." Minutes later, he was in his car, telling his driver to move fast. His heart beat hard. Could it be her? Did she keep the baby? Did he really have a child somewhere? When he arrived at the newly built hospital, he walked straight to the nurse's desk. "I want to see someone with the name Genevieve Banks," he said. The nurse checked the records. "Please wait." Festus stood there, restless. His hands shook slightly. His mind was full of fear and hope at the same time. Finally, the nurse said, "Follow me." Festus walked behind her until she opened one of the ward doors. There she was, Genevieve, lying on the hospital bed. Older, thinner, but still the woman he remembered. His mouth opened in shock. "Genevieve." The moment Genevieve heard his voice, she turned her head. Her eyes widened. "Festus?" Festus took a step in, but she raised her hand sharply. "Don't come near me!" Her voice was weak but full of anger. "You left me! You left me alone with a baby! You walked away and never looked back!" Festus stood frozen. "Genevieve, please! Let me explain!" The nurse quickly stepped between them. "Sir, please leave. She cannot handle stress. She is not strong enough for this." Festus stepped back slowly and walked out of the room, his heart torn between guilt and hope. From that day, Festus kept returning to the hospital. He waited outside her ward. He begged her to talk to him. He asked for a chance. But Genevieve stayed angry. She said nothing. And she did not tell Destiny about her father, who had suddenly returned. She wanted to think. She wanted to be sure. She did not want a stranger to walk into her daughter's life just like that. Every evening, when Destiny returned from school, she sat beside her mother. Sometimes she talked. Sometimes she just held her mother's hand and rested her head on the bed. One evening, Destiny fell asleep right beside her mother, still wearing her school uniform. Genevieve looked at her daughter's tired face. She knew Destiny needed a father. She knew the girl was struggling with life. Genevieve stared at the ceiling and sighed. Maybe I should give Festus a chance, she whispered to herself. And with that quiet decision, their lives began to move toward a destiny none of them saw coming. That evening, after Destiny had left the hospital to rest at home, Festus came again. He stood quietly by Genevieve's ward door. His expensive suit looked out of place in the small hospital hallway. His voice was soft but heavy. Genevieve, please. I just want to talk. For the first time since he returned, Genevieve did not tell him to go. She slowly turned her head and looked at him. Come in, she said quietly. Festus stepped inside. He stopped a few steps away from her bed, fear and regret in his eyes. Genevieve, he began, I am sorry. I was young. I was foolish. I was selfish. I should never have left you. I should never have abandoned our child. Genevieve shook her head. Festus, I don't need your apology. It has been many years. Pain has already done its work. But one thing I know is this. My daughter should not be denied the chance of knowing her father. Festus almost dropped to his knees. Please allow me to meet her. Just once. Let me see her. Let me know her. Genevieve sighed. She is at home sleeping at this time. What about tomorrow? Festus said quickly. Genevieve sighed. She will be in school by that time. I don't mind, Festus said quickly. I can meet her in her school. Genevieve looked at him for a long moment, then nodded slowly. All right. Festus let out a breath he had been holding. He stepped out of the ward and went straight to the doctor's office. Doctor, is Genevieve in any danger? Does she need serious care? Festus asked. The doctor smiled kindly. No, she only needs rest. She can be discharged soon. Please discharge her tomorrow, Festus said at once. I will handle everything. The next morning came quickly. Destiny arrived early at the hospital before school. She brought food for her mother and placed it on the table beside her bed. Mummy, I need to go now, she said softly. Genevieve touched her hand. Thank you, my child. Go to school. Everything will be fine. Destiny nodded and left. But as she walked to school, her heart felt heavy. She still had no idea how they would pay the hospital bill. Her mind stayed troubled. When she reached school, she met Tiana waiting for her. Destiny, you look tired. What's wrong? Tiana asked with concern. Destiny forced a smile. I'm fine. Tiana knew she was lying, but did not push too hard. She changed the topic, making small jokes to lighten her mood. Destiny smiled weakly, but her sadness still showed in her eyes. And as if the day was not bad enough, Kendra and her friends still found small chances to trouble her. They pushed her books during break time. They whispered insults when no one was looking. Destiny kept quiet. She was too tired to raise a fight. Later that afternoon, Festus arrived at the hospital with his driver. He paid Genevieve's hospital bill in full. Then he helped her stand and escorted her into his black SUV. Let's go to Destiny's school, he said with a hopeful voice. Genevieve nodded. All right. When they entered the school compound, the closing bell had just rung. Children ran outside with noise and laughter. Then something happened. Genevieve's eyes caught sight of Destiny. There, at the center of the schoolyard. She was on the ground. 3 girls were standing over her. One pushed her again. Another kicked her books across the sand. For a moment, Genevieve could not breathe. Then she screamed, Stop! Leave my child alone! Her voice tore through the whole compound. Every head turned. The 3 bullies looked up, shocked. And then they saw it. An expensive black SUV was parked by the gate, and walking toward them were 2 adults, Genevieve and Festus. The girls' faces went white with fear. Kendra's mouth dropped open. Wait, that's her. She looked from Destiny to the car, to Festus's expensive suit. Instant regret washed over her face. She knew she had made a terrible mistake. Festus' voice thundered across the yard. Hey, all of you, stop right there! The bullies jumped. Their bodies shook. Terror filled their eyes. They had never heard a voice so commanding. It hit them instantly. This was not the father of a poor scholarship girl. This was a man of power, a man of money, a man who could end their school life with one phone call. The girls panicked. The fear on Kendra's face turned into pure confusion and regret. She whispered to her friends, We messed with the wrong person. That's her parents." The girls didn't wait to hear what came next. They ran. Fast. As fast as their legs could carry them. But everyone around them already knew. Their trouble had only just begun. Genevieve rushed to Destiny and fell beside her. "Destiny, are you okay? Why are they bullying you? What is happening?" Destiny was shocked. She stared at her mother in confusion. "Mummy? Why are you here? I thought you were still in the hospital." Genevieve hugged her again, still shaking. Then Destiny looked at the tall man standing beside her mother. His suit was expensive. His shoes shone. His face looked worried. "Mummy, who is this man?" Destiny asked softly. Genevieve closed her eyes for a moment. "My child, it is a long story. Please come into the car. I will tell you everything." Destiny looked at her mother, then at the strange man again. Something inside her chest began to beat faster. Something she could not explain. She slowly stood up, brushing the dust off her skirt. Nothing about this afternoon felt normal. Nothing at all. And she had no idea. Her entire life was about to change. After Destiny entered the SUV, Festus told his driver, "Please take us to their house." Genevieve gave the driver the address, and they all sat in silence as the car moved through the busy Lego streets. When they reached Genevieve's small apartment, Destiny came down from the car slowly, still confused about everything that was happening. Inside the house, Genevieve asked her to sit. She sat in front of her daughter and took a deep breath. "Destiny," she said softly, "there is something you must know. This man, Festus, he is your father." Destiny's eyes widened. She stood up at once, shocked. "My what?" Genevieve nodded with sad eyes. "Yes, he is your father." Destiny looked from her mother to Festus. Her voice shook. "Where was he? Where was he when you suffered alone? Where was he when people insulted me for not having a father? Where was he when I cried?" Festus stood slowly. "Destiny, please. I was young. I made a big mistake." But Destiny stepped back. "No, you were not there. I grew up hearing nothing about you. I don't know you. I don't accept you." Tears filled her eyes, and before either of them could speak again, she ran into her room and locked the door. Festus closed his eyes. He expected this. He understood the anger. Still, it hurt him deeply. He walked to the door of Destiny's room and spoke gently through it. "Destiny, I know I hurt you and your mother. When your mother told me she was pregnant years ago, I was scared. I was foolish. I said things I should never have said. I did not believe her. I walked away. And every day since then, I regretted it." He paused, his voice breaking. "I want to fix what I broke. I want to be in your life if you let me. I know I can never change the past, but I want to change the future." He stepped away from the door, walked out of the house with a heavy heart, and told Genevieve, "Please, talk to her for me." Then he left. Inside the car, Festus took out his phone at once. "Find out everything about those girls who bullied my daughter," he told his PA, "and make sure the school takes action immediately." Meanwhile, inside the house, Genevieve knocked softly on Destiny's door. "Please open the door, my child." Destiny opened it slowly. She was still crying. Genevieve sat beside her on the bed and held her close. "My daughter," she whispered. "I know what he did was wrong, but it was a long time ago. He was young and foolish. I have forgiven him. And, Destiny, you need a father. You need someone who will stand for you." Destiny wiped her tears. "But he hurt you, Mummy?" "I'm fine," Genevieve said softly. "I healed from that pain long ago. I don't want you to carry it too." Destiny lowered her eyes. I'm sorry I didn't tell you about the bullying because I didn't want to stress you more. Genevieve held her tighter. You should always tell me, my child. We face things together. Later that evening, Genevieve sat in the small living room. She looked up weakly and prayed in her heart. God, please let Festus returning not bring pain into our lives. The next morning during the school's general assembly, the principal made a shocking announcement. Kendra, Erica, and Faith were expelled for bullying. Students whispered loudly. Destiny's heart beat fast. It must be him, she thought. Festus. Days passed. Weeks passed. Festus began coming often. He apologized again and again. He brought small gifts. Nothing too loud, nothing to show off. He offered to buy another house, but Genevieve refused. She didn't want forgiveness to look like it could be bought. But Festus didn't stop showing love in small ways. He came to check on them. He brought food sometimes. He always asked Destiny how school was. He spoke gently. He never pushed too hard. Slowly. Very slowly. Destiny began to open up. One evening, Festus took her to a park. They bought ice cream. They sat under a tree, the breeze blowing softly. They were laughing about something small when Destiny suddenly said the word she had never said before. Father. Festus froze. The spoon fell from his hand. Tears filled his eyes at once. You called me father, he whispered. Destiny looked at him shyly. I think I'm ready to try. Festus wiped his tears quickly. You don't know what this means to me. All my life I have never heard anyone call me that. I thought I would never have a child. Destiny smiled softly. He reached out his arms. Please, allow me to hug you. Destiny moved closer, and Festus hugged her gently. His tears touched her hair. I promise, he whispered. I will never cause pain to you or your mother again. Destiny closed her eyes. For the first time in her life, she felt what it meant to have a father. After that day, everything changed for Destiny and her mother. They moved into Festus's mansion. It was huge, bright, and beautiful. Destiny walked around with wide eyes, amazed at the size of the place. Festus showed her a big room painted in soft colors. This will be your room, Destiny, he said gently. Destiny hugged him tightly. Thank you, Father. Festus's eyes filled with tears. He had waited his whole life to hear that word. Genevieve watched them from the door, her heart softening a little. She was happy that Destiny finally had someone she could call Father. But her own heart was still careful. Yes, she had forgiven Festus. But rebuilding a relationship was not easy. Even so, something slowly started to grow again between them. Days passed, weeks passed. Destiny now walked into school boldly and happily. She held her head high, not because of pride, but because she finally believed in herself. Her friend Tiana noticed the change. Students noticed it too. Some whispered, Destiny looks different now. She looks happy. Others said, don't judge a book by its cover. We never knew she was the daughter of a billionaire. For the first time since she came to that school, nobody looked at her like the poor scholarship girl again. They looked at her with respect, with admiration. Some even looked ashamed, remembering how they once laughed at her. Destiny didn't brag. She didn't show off. She simply walked with peace in her heart because she finally felt seen, loved, and valued. Her friend Tiana noticed the change. You're glowing, Tiana said one morning. Destiny smiled. I'm just happy. Tiana smiled back. I'm happy for you. But at home, something even more surprising was happening. Festus started spending more time with Genevieve. He sat beside her in the living room. He asked about her day. He listened to her stories. He helped her laugh again. And Genevieve, slowly, she found herself smiling at him, talking to him, warming up to him. Destiny noticed it. One evening, Festus and Genevieve called her into the living room. They sat close together, holding hands. Destiny, Festus said softly, we want to tell you something. Genevieve smiled shyly. We are getting back together. Destiny's eyes grew wide. Really? Yes, Festus said. Your mother has forgiven me, and I want to spend the rest of my life taking care of both of you. Genevieve nodded. We are getting married. Destiny jumped up with joy and hugged them tightly. She cried happy tears. She had dreamed of having a real family for so long, and now it was happening. 2 months later, Festus and Genevieve had a beautiful wedding. It was simple, but full of love. Festus looked at Genevieve like she was his whole world. Genevieve smiled like she had found peace at last. But the happiest person in the room was Destiny. She watched her mother walk down the aisle. She watched Festus hold her hand. She watched their smiles. And she knew deep in her heart that her life would never be the same again. The poor scholarship girl who once walked alone. The girl who once ate lunch in tears. The girl who was bullied and mocked. Had now found a family, a father, a home, and a future far brighter than she ever imagined. And so her story ended not with pain, but with joy, healing, and a new beginning. Life changed in a way Destiny never expected. A young girl who once walked to school with fear. A girl who ate alone at lunchtime. A girl who hid her tears from the world. She later walked into the same school with joy, with confidence, and with love around her. And what brought that change? A mother's sacrifice, a friend's kindness, and a father's repentance. This story reminds us of something very important. Never look down on anyone because of their situation today. Life can change in a moment. The child you laugh at today may be the same person you will respect tomorrow. Also, no matter how hard life becomes, keep pushing, keep working, keep believing. Your story can change when you least expect it. I would love to hear your thoughts about this story. Please share your opinion in the comment section below. I would like to read from you. There is another very interesting story coming up in a few days. So make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification bell so you will be notified immediately when I upload the story. If you enjoyed this story, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next story.